Welcome to
We don't have a name yet.
the podcast. So, I guess the idea came from what we were watching Thunder basketball a couple nights ago, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, we got some good takes. And so, and then we were like, well, what if we shot a podcast? And Matt was like,
Why the heck not?
So yeah, we're here. We have mics. We look professional, but the takes are not professional. I will go ahead and warn everybody, these takes are going to be very opinion-based, and we are very biased. As this is a Thunder podcast.
Thunder.
And, Thunder up. And, yeah, so that was kind of the idea. It just kind of popped up, and here we are, and gonna just give it a shot. By the way, my name's Easton.
I'm Matt.
Gonna just talk about how we met and how we got into basketball and why the Thunder are the best team in the NBA. So, do you want to start? I'm trying to think of what age.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Very little.
Probably like 1.5.
Here's a picture, by the way.
You can see we're both very intimidating in the picture. I mean, that was like before junior pro. We had to have been like third grade or something.
It was something.
Yeah, a long time ago. Played on the same team. Hooped. So that's how we initially met.
Mm-hmm.
And
After that, we
went our separate ways. Well, it wasn't really our fault.
I went to a different elementary school.
That's what
He
it
went to a
was.
different elementary school.
So doing that, we didn't ever see each other again. Honestly, I kind of forgot about you because into that story, no offense, but into that story, we played each other in middle school basketball and didn't know it. But then leading to high school, Matt was having a get together at his house.
That's right. Yep.
He was like, "Hey man, why don't you come hang out?" Because mutual friends were like, "Yeah, this guy's pretty cool." And I was like, "Oh man, Matt Tinsley saw." I just eventually was like, "Dude, didn't we used to play basketball together?"
It eventually clicked. I was like, because once he said your name, I was like,
I know that guy.
I know that guy. So, yeah, I didn't really know how it was gonna go, but you came over along with them, along with other friends. But end up kind of like catching up.
Yeah, we were like, "What you
3
been up
years.
to?" We've been up to for 4 or 5 years. But yeah, and then after that, just kind of stayed hanging out.
Yeah.
And then, this leads into the other question: how'd you get into Thunder basketball? It was interesting because we have other things in common, like we play a lot of video games together, and that was kind of the first thing. And then Matt was like, "Oh yeah, I like basketball," and I was like, "Oh, I like basketball."
I remember we had the same English class in freshman year.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's kind of like
Dude, I actually remember that.
yeah,
Go
when I
ahead.
first saw you.
Yeah.
I was like, and you had an OKC Thunder lantern or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, huh.
Yeah, I
You
remember
like
that
Thunder
lanyard.
basketball?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And I remember asking you across the room, I was like, you watch Thunder basketball? You're like,
Yeah, man, I love Thunder basketball.
oh my God.
Yeah, and then I don't know. We just started talking about Thunder basketball. It was weird, but it was weird that we both liked the Thunder, especially since we're from Kentucky,
Yeah.
and that's not really the. But I originally, and you originally, this is the other funny thing, started watching basketball because of the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
Because I remember your Facebook post.
I was a huge Derrick Rose fan. Derrick Rose is the one that got me into
Who wasn't at the time though?
That is true.
He is maybe one of the greatest players of all time in his prime, and I loved watching him dunk on people.
Yeah, he was something else.
But then Kevin Durant came along.
To do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that.
And that was kind of, I don't know how you did. Like, you were originally like, hey, I got to move to this team. But I was like, this KD guy is something special. I was like, so as a kid, I was like, he's averaging whatever, 36 a game or however many it was. And I was like, I got it. So and that was the year I think they went to the finals. And so that's when I hopped on the bandwagon. But I think it's fair to say as a kid, you're allowed to do that.
I remember I started watching Thunder basketball back in 2011. That was the year before the finals for them.
So you were 1 year,
Well,
1 year bandwagon before I was?
at the time I was, watching the Bulls, but I don't think they were playing. I don't remember the playoff tree back then. But I remember my dad was watching the Thunder play the Spurs. And I was like walking downstairs. I was like, you're not watching the Chicago Bulls, so it doesn't really matter. Well,
Who are these nobodies?
turns out I sit down on the couch and I was like, this game's not bad. Russell Westbrook is just dunking on people. Kevin Durant just sniping. And I was obsessed right there because like they were just so fun to watch.
Oh, dude, that's true. That team was amazing. That was James Harden off the bench, 6th man of the year. James Harden.
Well, what's funny is my dad, he ended up changing the channel, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And so I was like, I'm gonna go up to my bedroom, just do some other stuff. I went up there, I turned the game on, and after that night, it was awesome. Like that's when I just became hooked.
Yeah,
I was hooked ever since. That's kind of like my Thunder story.
Your story's pretty good because I don't necessarily remember my exact moment, but I remember it just being with like Katie and stuff. So I like yours a lot better with the that one game, that one series. But yeah, so two guys just really like Thunder basketball. And we like Thunder basketball because we've been Thunder fans for the last 3 or 4 years.
We actually traveled to Oklahoma City back in 2019, 18, what year?
I was a sophomore or junior in college. Yeah. So it would have been 18 or 19.
Yeah, and we actually watched them play the Chicago Bulls, which Zach LaVine sadly sat out.
That was a hard when we found out about that. Yes,
it was a bummer. But Russell Westbrook and Paul George put on a show for us.
It was phenomenal because that was PG's MVP-esque season. His last year on the Thunder, Russ's last year on the Thunder. It was just the perfect game to go to. Looking back, it was just like, why? I'm so glad we did that.
Oh, for sure.
I want to go back, but
we're gonna go back.
We drove, so it was a long trip. We stayed with my uncle up there. Me, my dad, and Matt all went, and it was just so good. But the other memorable part of that game was that Robin Lopez tried to fight somebody.
Jeremy Grant just came over to defend, and now we got a melee here. And then what is it with Robin Lopez and Jeremy Grant as they are really going at it? Everybody coming.
he gave him one of these right here, and that might be one of the funniest / greatest moments of my life when we were sitting there. It was such a good game anyway because Russ was playing well, PG played great.
You can actually see us in the crowd in this picture right here. It's kind of blurry, but
if you can guess which ones we are out of all the 10 pixels.
But no, that's actually us.
Yeah, that is us, and that was a good game. It just solidified everything that I already knew as a big Thunder fan, and then watching Robin Lopez try and kill somebody it helped. I think it was Jeremy Grant at the time. Yeah, so big Thunder fans decided to do a podcast. Not really basketball professionals. I play for fun. Sometimes you play for fun.
I used to.
Both got busy with life and jobs and stuff, and so our takes are not gonna be great. They're gonna be takes, and we're gonna enjoy it. So I got some questions, but right now what I think we should start with and just kind of let it roll, whatever we say, is just the state of Thunder basketball. And the state of Thunder basketball being, I was gonna look it up. I've got it right here actually, if I can find the right conference. We are now where's the game back? Okay, so we're in the play-in right now, 10th seed technically, but we're only half a game back from the 6th seed. Wow. I think that's right. Last time I checked. I don't know why I can't. I'd have to go to a different page. Is that a good thing? Well, I guess I don't want to. That's not the can of worms I want. I'm just saying that right now Shea's playing amazing.
Yep.
Giddy's playing amazing. Lou Dort is something.
Giddy's playing amazing.
Giddy's playing amazing basketball. He is phenomenal. He's great. Isaiah Joe, really good.
I love Isaiah Joe.
But we're kind of in middle of the ground, So to the point of, and I want to get your take on this. We've talked about this a little bit, but do we want to compete, or do we think that we should pull back?
We're approaching literally the halfway mark of the season.
Yeah.
And so it's either, and this is a decision for all teams. It's do you make moves now to improve your chances in playoffs?
Yeah.
Or do you simply blow it up? And it's it's one of those two.
Yeah. And I think we have the luxury of blowing it up being just sitting people.
Yeah.
I mean, load managing people. Yeah.
We tend to do that.
Definitely when Shea hurts his hip and sits out for the rest of the season after All-Star break. It's going to be real sad. But yeah, kind of in the and also another big thing, the trade deadline's coming up February 9th. Sam Presti likes to make moves, and I can agree. I think we can both agree somebody's moving. If not now, I don't think it'll be the off season because that's when his contract's up. But so yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Do we push? Do we try and make some sort of playoff run with this team? Or and it's hard to I don't want to tell the guys.
Yeah.
Not that I tell them, but I'd hate to see such a good young team on a run.
Yeah. We're hot right now.
Yeah.
Very hot.
That's the other thing. Like a win streak of 5 games.
Yeah. I think we're finally getting to a point where we know what lineups to run.
That is another good point.
Yeah, just because Coach, I'm not going to attempt to say his name.
Coach D.
Yeah, Coach D. He's been experimenting with hundreds of lineups.
It seems like that was one of my questions.
Yeah. And so, now I think we're getting to a point where we're like, okay, so we know who to run at this time.
Yeah.
Just because, kind of the win streak speaks for itself.
It really does. I mean, you get young teams go on runs, but ours seems to be. This is a pretty long run.
Yeah.
Especially with away games.
Yeah. And, at first of the season, I was
4-game win streak.
Oh.
Yeah.
At the first of the season, of course, no question, tank for Victor.
Oh, dude, yeah, for Vic, yeah.
Or even Scoot at this point.
I got an opinion on that.
I know.
But, yeah.
But, no question to it. You lose every single game.
Yeah, for a generational talent.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's amazing.
Who doesn't want Wemby?
Yeah.
But, dude, as we're, halfway through the season, it's no, this team is way more capable of, what we thought. And so, I don't know what to do. I don't think we should. I don't think we should blow it up. Obviously, okay. But I kind of want to say make a push for the play-in, or even maybe better.
That's what I definitely agree that blowing it up is not.
Yeah. No.
And because blowing it up translates to trade Shea.
Yeah.
Or because Shea is really the centerpiece of the vet leader,
yep.
the consistent night in, night out scorer.
Yep.
And everybody else just plays very well around him. Because with Josh Giddey leading the team, you're not making the playoffs, or you're not making noise. But
right.
Also, and I'm not saying this to knock Shea, with this team and with Shea playing as good as he is, do you still make playoff noise?
Yeah.
It's if you make there, do you win the series? Because the West right now is looking great, no matter what team you're on. I guess the Utah Jazz are the only people who are really surprising everybody, so I could see them also messing up a playoff appearance.
That team is something else.
Yeah, I mean, even the Wolves, Kings, even if we had them seeded, I do think they're the stronger team. And so that's the hard thing, because you definitely don't want to tell the guys, hey, we need to lose games. You definitely don't want to make a move with Shea.
Kings are a very, very tough team.
Yeah, that's what, and they've been consistently good, especially with the Sabonis pickup,
which they play in about 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's what. So we're gonna a little secret, I guess, is we're gonna do an extra video about just reacting to the game, the Kings Thunder game, and just see how it goes, which would be a huge win. Their 3rd seed.
Yep.
I mean, we're at Sacramento. Yep. We got the fear of the beam.
The beam, baby.
The beam. I really think that's going to cause an alien.
It's going to cause something.
Something is coming because of that beam eventually. But yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I really don't think that losing is the option right now, but I'd love to see Presti make a solid move to make the roster better. Because it's not necessarily about this year's pick either. No. You do want Wemby, but next year is the year, I think, of the picks.
Yeah.
I think it's the Clippers, Rockets.
We got 4 first-round picks next year.
That's okay. Do you know who's?
I don't.
Okay.
Know who they are. But
let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm pretty sure we have the Clippers, who.
It might be Miami.
Might blow it up. We're hoping they blow it up. And we have. Is this ours? Okay. Yeah, the 2024. Our own. We have a Houston. We have a Clippers. Both of those teams. We know the Rockets aren't going to be great. If they get Vic, maybe. But I'm not. But that might be
Yeah.
like late, play-in position. So I definitely don't think losing is the option, but I think the right answer is making a move, but not going all in.
We need a center.
We need a center. That is a number one. So everybody who watches Thunder basketball knows we are lacking depth at the center position, and that's due to injuries and due to
a little bit of everything.
Really, even when you look at everybody being healthy, our center is Chet. And after get well soon, buddy. I know you're watching this right now. So our center is Chet. You're talking because other than that, you got Dre, who phenomenal player, just not a center in this league. I mean, if he is, he's very undersized. I think of him more as a power forward. He's played well as center, but we just need somebody more center built, I think. Poku.
You never know what you're going to do with
Poku is a guy. He's pretty good. I actually got this jersey made before they were selling jerseys of Poku, so I had to custom make this one. I love Poku. I'm just going to be honest. I'm super biased. I think Poku's great. He's not a center, I don't think. I think at best power forward. Who else? Mike Muscala.
Mike Muscala.
Really good at shooting. Not so good defensively, I don't think. But other than that, man, we don't have the depth that we need.
No, not right now. And that's like an absolute must before the trade deadline.
I believe so. I think that a lot of people have tossed around Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
If he's available, especially since he might be cheap right now. I've seen other people take on some younger guys, like one of the Nets centers. I don't know his name. People are saying go get this guy. He's young. They might let him walk because the Nets are competing. Because we could give up like a lot of people are saying Kenny Hustle, Baisley, and Mike are kind of the guys we have to move. And not have to move, but we have them available if we're going to move.
You know there's going to be teams on the deadline day asking about Kenny Hustle.
Oh, dude, I've told Matt before too, I don't like the idea of trading him just because he's such a do-it-all guy. And on a winning team, he's so vital. But if the right team calls, you know, what is Preston going to do? Make the move. I also like to think that James Wiseman.
Also, let us know what you think about Kenny Hustle.
I need takes on that because we're biased once again.
Yeah.
But I don't. We're like, is he good? Is that what you're wondering, or like?
Well, it's like if a team calls you about Kenny Hustle, and there's a very interesting, pick or promising player in that trade, what do? Do you take it? I don't know.
Honestly, I mean, it depends. I really think it depends on who it is. But also, I think the center market in the NBA is, especially for the Thunder, when I look around and I say, who do we want that's young, developing, is okay to come on this team? It's kind of, I don't want to say slim, but like, unless you go all in on somebody like Bam, which I don't think the Heat are moving him, or draft one that's coming in, it's kind of a slim, because centers are really needed, especially good ones in the league. But do you know anybody else? I'm thinking Mo Bamba. I love James Wiseman. If we could get him, especially since
you've been saying that for a minute.
Okay, I think the Golden State Warriors are pressuring him to be really good really quick. And the Thunder's not going to pressure him to be really good really quick. And instead he can just develop his game.
Those young guys in Golden State, they're under so much pressure. Because, you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, literally about to,
Draymond's probably gone eventually, I'd say.
Yeah.
So Draymond knows his time's up.
Yeah.
But he wants another ring.
They're on the verge of just declining a little bit. They're getting old. Yeah. Obviously, and as Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and Wiseman, and some other young talented players on that team is hey, we really want to make a push now with these three that we have. So
it puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
They're not really used to the league, I think, like that. I mean, they're great players, but I just think that in a different environment he flourishes more than what they are asking of him right now. What about, and then I'm thinking this is not really a center, but what about Rui Hachimura? I think that's
I saw that where they were trying to shop him. That kind of shocked me
because he's super young still too.
Yeah.
And that Wizards team's not going anywhere. I mean, they're playing pretty good right now, but
if Rui was worth Darius Baisley and a second-round pick. Goodbye, Baisley. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it.
Man, but I think for both parties, Baisley getting moved is the right thing because he's not. Also, going back to the Thunder take about the centers, we also have Jay Will, who is he a little undersized, but
he's solid.
Absolutely played great minutes last few games. Looks good, shooting more, which is great. Passing,
his vision is pretty freaking good.
Did you see his reverse layup?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the. So when we come down to the trade deadline, I expect to see a move. I'd like to see a move for a center. It just depends on who it is.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
We'll see where Presti goes for that. He's got 100 picks he can move and some young players. And I think Baisley too.
Baisley's on his way out.
I think Baisley could be a good player. He just needs a lot of film and a lot of passing drills.
I don't know how to fix him. Every time he touches the ball, he does a spin move. He dribbles,
throws it up.
And it's like that every time. That's a little frustrating watching him play when he does that.
But you know who else it reminds me of too?
So
there's somebody else on the team that likes to drive a lot and shoot layups when he doesn't really need to. Lou Dort. I think that those guys, Lou definitely makes up for it. His decision making is, I think, a little better. But I think Baisley's nervous about I've got to get my numbers up.
Yeah, he's constantly in the spotlight. Because obviously, Poku has really turned a corner this year.
Oh yeah, that's why I hated seeing him go down.
Yeah, and that was huge. And Poku's really established himself on this team, and he's being more consistent. He's doing less Poku stuff,
which is funny to say.
Yeah, but I think Baisley knows that too. I think he is. He's kind of getting worried about Poku.
I really think that. I think Baisley knows too that the fan base is questioning his ability to perform night in and night out. And I think that I don't know if that scares him and forces him into those situations. Because when he plays comfortably, his defense is good.
Yeah.
His intangibles great. I like his headband. I mean, there's good things there. It just I don't know. It
just comes in phases.
And also I don't know. I know if he knows the fan base is questioning him. But there's no other place with less pressure than Oklahoma City Thunder.
That is true.
I believe that in the league. Because you look at other tanking teams like the Rockets, there's something there.
I don't know.
It's a bloodbath. Let's talk about that a little bit because John Wall just came out with a take.
Yep.
We both watched a little bit of the clips, and I didn't watch the whole interview. I'll go ahead and be honest, but he said some pretty egregious stuff about the team. And at the time when they sat him, I was like, that's kind of selfish. And then from his point of view, I understand him more. You love the game, but I get it. He's a player, he's got to worry about his health. Yeah. Especially coming back off an injury like he was. If he's going to be told, hey, we got to lose these games, why would you play?
Yeah.
But that team's just a dumpster fire. I
agree 100%.
We might have a little bit of a rivalry with Rocket fans right now, just because they think that their rebuild's so great because they get guys like Sengun from the Thunder, who is playing very well. And Matt, I'm just going to remind Matt that I was very high on Sengun after watching a couple of his highlights where he was just dunking on people. And I said, dude, we got to get this guy. And Matt was like, I don't know. And so when we traded him on draft night, it was like, okay, we'll just see where it goes. He's played well.
He's playing really good.
You don't make them all when you're in the NBA trying to make those moves like Presti is. But stuff like that. And then the Jalen Green, they get a good pick in him. He's he's not shooting the best percentages.
He was my most improved player this year. And so far, that is not a good take. So
he's talented. I think
he is talented.
Yeah. I think he's in a bad system too, though.
He's very streaky.
Yeah.
He's just not consistent with the shooting yet. Yeah. But that dude, he has a lot of potential, and he's going to put it together one day.
Yeah, which is going to be scary for the league.
Yeah.
The locker room culture there, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it on display on the sidelines. Eric Gordon hates it there.
There's a lot going on. With
there's
that
just
team.
so much going on, and
I feel so sorry for Jabari. I do. 'Cause
he is
I don't know like what happened. Obviously, he started off slow. No denying that. But like he has turned it around slightly. You know, he plays. I don't want to say elite defense, but better defense.
Yeah.
And
I think coming into the league, people knew that too.
yeah, but I don't know. Like he was put into a situation where it's
Bad
like,
situation,
yeah, it just
and I don't think that helps his confidence.
no.
But also, yeah, I looked up the name of the guy on the Nets I was talking about. It's Day'Ron Sharp. It's like 6'10".
Oh, yeah.
6'10".
Mm-hmm.
The Nets trying to make a push. Maybe they go for maybe like Muscala or Heinrich, and we get a center from that. So that's just an idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got a question for you, Matt.
Okay.
I just wanna ask you, who is the most underrated Thunder player in your opinion?
Can't say J-Dub.
He would have been for a little bit.
Yeah.
But now he's third in the rookie ladder. Did you know that? Yeah, it's pretty darn good, especially for the 12th pick.
Yeah. I think Dort's kind of moving into that.
Oh, dude, you took my take. I was gonna surprise you and say Lou Dort.
Yeah.
Because Lou Dort to me is a frustrating kind of player, but he consistently performs well. Like when we watch him, a lot of times I'm like, that decision was not good, Lou Dort.
Yeah.
But then you look back and you're like, oh, he had 20 and locked down their best player.
As frustrated as I get with Dort, there's no one else I want to see on the floor, guarding the best player,
I don't want to say he's a liability on the offensive end, because every time I say that,
he flashes a three.
He shoots 43% from the three that game. Like it's so interesting to me that he started off of course, basketball is a streaky sport.
Yep.
He started off a little slower, I think, this season, but it's the driving when there's 4 people on him.
Yep.
To just try and put up a shot that I think is the most. Like it just, to me, it looks bad, so I get upset.
Yeah.
And I think like, why is Lou Dort doing that? Why is he doing that? Why is he getting minutes? And then I look back and, like I said, his stat line's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I get frustrated with him when he takes a three when in transition. So like, we'll have 19 seconds left on the shot clock, as we're all running back down, and it's like three. Do
you remember there was a tweet I sent Matt that was like, Lou Dort should shoot this, and it was in quotes, Lou Dort probably right now. like he really is a heat check every time he comes down the floor, and then he hits them sometimes, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Like I don't. You're making me question everything I believe in. Lou Dort. Like you're so yeah. I'd say he's the most. I think he's underappreciated.
Yeah.
By us. I don't know about other fans, but I think he's underappreciated.
He got paid.
He deserved it.
If he's getting paid, that means he needs to perform.
He was the second best player on the team at that time.
Yeah.
So you're right. He got paid. He needs to perform, just like Shea.
Yep.
I was really nervous that Shea got paid, and then he was gonna kind of stay. So, do you want to ask anything about the underrated people anymore? Because if not, I'm gonna get on that tangent.
No, I think that was kind of what I wanted to say is about
Lou Dort. I think another person that I think that might get overlooked some, I think, is Trey Mann. A lot of times I forget that he's really good. It's because he's not getting minutes.
Yep. His minutes have been very inconsistent.
Coach D, I want you to listen to me. I am on Twitter at Easton_goat. If you could send me a DM, I think that's how it works. I don't use Twitter a lot. If you could send me a DM and explain to me why he's not getting minutes, I would love to hear why. Because he is... Like, the blue was good to reset him, I think, but sometimes I'm like, man, you just got to put him in the game. And then, like, I want you to play Joe as well. I love seeing Isaiah Joe on the court. I think
I worship him.
One of the most automatic shooters in the league. But then I'm like, where's Trey Mann? Like, he's not getting. If we want him to be better, he needs to get minutes. So, and there's something going on behind the scenes that we probably don't see. There's a reason he's not getting the minutes. I don't know if he's upset. I don't know if that's what he wants. I don't know if they're not playing him to maybe like secretly like let's keep him and develop him more.
Unfortunately, with the inconsistent minutes this season, I think it's affected him the most.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
especially since he's such a coming into the league. We talked a little bit. He had some confidence issues, I think, at Florida, and they talked about he took time away from the team. And I totally understand that. If you're not in a good headspace and you're not performing well, it's hard to get out of that. We play a lot of Rocket League, and when I'm not in a good headspace, I definitely talk down on myself and I play worse. But so I get that, but with him being told, hey, you got to sit on the bench. That doesn't help either. No. Even if you're not playing well.
Especially when Isaiah Joe was lighting it up.
He might be. If I was a player, I'd be jealous of it. And I'm not saying that they are.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Darius Baisley and Poku situation.
It's I wonder if Trey's looking at Joe and saying, man, that guy's performing well.
Yeah.
I hope he's not taking my minutes.
Yeah.
But then it turns out
he
probably is.
Yeah.
But Trey's much more of a different kind of shooter than Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's very spot up. Trey's very
self-creation.
Very much a self-creator and probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah. Top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Every time he does a step back, I'm like, there's no way he's going to get this guy to fall for this step back. Gets him every time.
Yep.
Elite space creation.
Yep.
Hits his threes when he's on a roll. I mean, just a phenomenal player. Do not let him go. That is one thing I'd say to the Thunder basketball. Do not let him move. I just definitely think he's going somewhere. It just takes time, and we got plenty of that. So, but yeah. So my thing that I was gonna say earlier that we brought up, I have questioned Shai's ability to lead this team before. I've questioned it this offseason. Matt knows this conversation. It was a hot take, I think, between us, because Matt was on board with let's pay this guy.
I was ready to give Shai the whole franchise. Give him the keys.
And so I said when he had the max, I said, I don't think this is the right move. And he made me eat my words starting off the season this year. I mean, just played phenomenal basketball.
Yeah.
But this is the first time you're going to hear me say this in a long time. I still question if he's the guy that you want. If he's the number one, if he can lead you to a championship. Not because he's not good at basketball, but I just wonder sometimes, because it seems like the last couple of games, for a little bit down the stretch, it's like he makes questionable, he drives in, tries to get a foul. If he doesn't get a foul, it's turnover. That happens to anybody.
Yeah.
And I also think Thunder fans might hate me for this. I think his numbers are inflated with his free throws. I think he's averaging 30 plus because he shoots so many free throws a night.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of games where he'll have 22, 24 and end with 30.
Yeah.
Because in the not in the clutch, but in the ending of the game, he's the one getting the ball, getting the fouls, and he can't miss a free throw. So I'm interested in your. Do you still ride with he's that guy?
Honestly, I feel like he could be that guy, but I need to see his shooting improve. That is the only thing that worries me about Shai, is his three-point shooting. Obviously, his mini, automatic. His driving, 90% of the time, it's automatic. You know, his three-point shooting is very...
he just doesn't take a lot of them. I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to.
I know. That's what kind of worries me, is in your star player, you want them to be able to hit those big threes. And he has. Don't get me wrong.
Before. No, I'm not saying that he's not. He can't shoot.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, he's always going to the basket, and it's working.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when they shut that down, what's the other part of his game? Does he still shoot? I haven't seen that. I've seen he can't shoot. I'm not saying he can't shoot. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, what is there this other part of his game, other than just driving and trying to get a foul, that is going to still be elite when teams decide that they got to stop this? Also, not really that big of a fan of the fouls sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it slows down the game. I think it reminds me a lot of James Harden. I think Shai drives a lot more than Harden did. And I don't like these, I like that he's not kicking his leg out.
Yeah.
And doing the...
Yeah.
He fouled me on the three because I kicked him in the stomach. So I think a lot of those are legitimate fouls, but when he's trying to shoot like this, turning around, just to get the foul, I just don't like that as a basketball play. It's part of the game.
It is, yeah.
And he gets the call and it gets us 2 points, but so I'm not saying trade him. I'm just saying, do we need a new number one? And if so, is Presti going to do that?
I think we need I think Shai currently is it's so hard to say. I want to say he's a 1A,
I actually like that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking the same thing. He's
Yeah.
a 1, but he really needs another number 1.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Chet is going to be that guy. I am so high on Chet.
the other thing the Thunder desperately need is a lob threat.
Yep.
And so that center named Chet Holmgren fixes a lot of these problems. Defensively, rebounding, lob threat. He can shoot. Not that we haven't picked up some shooters, which is nice.
It's going to open up the floor so much.
He checks a lot of boxes.
Yep.
I mean, hopefully in the NBA he can perform as well as he did in the summer league.
Yeah.
But
That dude was balling some really. I've always said Chet Holmgren is the next Kevin Durant. I've said that multiple times. I believe it.
he's something. He could be. He's a little taller. Might make him a little better. I don't know. It would be kind of poetry to see him end up in
Exactly.
Oklahoma City and beat it. Whatever happens,
Yeah.
we definitely need another center
100%.
on top of that.
Regardless.
But Chet does fix a lot of those problems, and I think that having that center too. Unfortunately, well, the good thing about Chet is that he pulls people away from the basket.
Mm-hmm.
He can.
Yeah.
So that helps Shea a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because the team's very drive heavy. We lead the league in drive attempts, right?
I know Shea does.
Shea does. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the Thunder did for a little bit. I don't know. Having somebody that can spread the floor while being 7'2", 7'1", 7'2", huge.
Yeah.
So and that's big for the whole time. I just can't wait for him to come back because I really do think that no matter, even if he doesn't perform up to standards, he still helps the team in
100%.
every way.
Yeah.
Because that's really what we're missing is every box that he checks right now. So
Yep.
I pray that his rehab's going well. I really think he could come back earlier, but I definitely understand why they're sitting him the whole season.
People saying Chet should come back this season. Stop it. Stop
Really,
it.
Stop. That is because we don't rush anything.
Do not. We want this guy 125% instead of 95%. Yeah.
He needs to be in the best shape of his life. Put on 10 pounds in the off season. Oh man.
Just stop it. We
Yeah.
need him
Yeah.
to rest. We need him to be.
There's a lot of memes of we need him back now.
I know.
And I think the goal is
Stop.
just let him rehab.
Yeah.
Don't
rush
put that
it.
thought in his head. By the way, Matt had a tweet that Chet liked.
Yes, I'll post it right here.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big moment for him. I'm not a big social media guy.
I
but
almost got it framed.
It's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's the future.
So many emotions that night when Shea hit the game winner. I wish I knew. I think it was against Portland. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yes. That was the night, too. We were already on a high because of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I was asleep.
And when Shea was over there with Chet celebrating, I was like, dang.
Yeah, soon.
Soon.
The tweet was soon. I got Chet Holmgren to like it.
Yep.
Chet's such a good guy.
He is a good
Let's just
guy.
talk about how good of a guy Chet is.
I'm not lying, every community post I see on Facebook, with the Thunder.
He's always there. Dude, he's a saint.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever said a bad word in his life. He
don't know.
might have never, ever done anything wrong. He might be the cleanest guy I know.
Yeah.
I
believe it.
I don't think he's ever gotten a speeding ticket. like this man, every time I see something about him, it's something great. Except for the dice chain that he wore.
That was hard.
That was hard. That was kind of dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
I seen this one post one time. It was a couple weeks ago, and it was do the Thunder regret drafting Chet Holmgren just because of our little possibly playing situation?
Yeah, and so maybe if we would have taken somebody else, they would have been healthy. Was
Right.
The idea.
That, but they're worried about Chet kind of falling too far behind where this team is.
So we're contending, and then Chet comes back and he pulls us down because he's not ready.
Exactly.
Who said that?
It was a YouTube video. It was yeah. So
There's some bad takes on the internet, and all of the ones we just had were probably those. But yeah, I don't know.
it just made me so I get where he's coming from. I understand what he's saying, but no, the Thunder
It could have happened to anyone.
Yeah, the Thunder have zero regrets drafting Chet Holmgren.
We can say that for a fact as Thunder fan. Who is regretting their draft pick the most right now? That they
This last draft?
from this last draft. Because like I think the top 5
Yeah.
were pretty like I think everybody kind of has a role. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's like really mad.
Definitely not the Pacers.
Pacers love Benedict Martin.
That guy is something else.
He's really good. The Magic, happy with who they got. I don't
Follow him.
I really don't think anybody's mad. Top 5 at least.
No.
So I don't see anything really changing in a redraft. I mean, maybe Benedict goes before
Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, who's somewhat underperformed. Somewhat. Keegan Murray?
Keith Murray's been...
Okay.
Yep.
But Benedict's been like really good.
Benedict would go in top 3 probably.
I think maybe over Jabari, but the Rockets really didn't need another guard.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's more of a forward, though.
Yeah.
I think. Who is the cutest Thunder player, in your opinion? You want to say it on 3?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey's definitely the cutest Thunder player.
No debate.
I don't want to debate that on Twitter. I don't want to debate that anywhere else. That is 100% a fact. Less of a question, more of we just wanted to get that out there. Pretty cute guy. Pretty good at basketball. I would marry him if I was not a heterosexual male. So that's how I feel about that guy. And so do you think that? We can do 2 questions. I'm gonna propose both. I want you to know. I want to see which one you want to do.
Okay.
So, why do Thunder players always thrive when we trade them? The other one is, what is Isaiah Joe's ceiling?
Sabonis is a big one. That dude really opened up.
Chris Paul, I guess.
Yeah.
Al Horford.
Ow.
I don't want to say those guys were already good when we got them.
Yeah.
We moved them. But
No, Sabonis really opened up after he got traded to the Pacers.
there's a lot of people. I guess the reason I asked that is there's a lot of people on the internet when it comes to Thunder, like basketball. Anytime you're trying to talk bad about the Thunder, they say, "How did you have this many stars at one time and couldn't win a chip?" That's always the take. Well, first off, James Harden would never be who he is today if he didn't go to the Rockets. So don't act like James Harden is going to thrive on a team with Russell Westbrook, who is very widely known as a stat pattern, and Kevin Durant, who is very widely known as good at basketball.
The guy.
So he was coming off the bench. Like he not that he would have kept coming out. He could have started, but it's
Yeah.
like if he doesn't move to take that lead role at Houston, he doesn't. So I don't like that take. I don't. As a Thunder fan, I get defensive about it. And then people want to tell me like Victor Oladipo and we had those guys for a couple of years and moved them for Paul George, who's phenomenal at the time. Not saying he's not a good basketball player anymore, just not as good as what he was playing. Who wouldn't take that to pair with Russ, who we really thought that was a championship team.
I think that was like kind of a win-win trade for both situations because at the time the Thunder was contending technically.
Yeah, and Paul George played great while he was here.
And Paul George kind of forced his way out, and so basically Pacers were entering a rebuild kind of stage, and so with Sabonis and Victor Oladipo going there, and Paul George coming to help Russell Westbrook contend for a championship, it's like. I think both situations played out very well for both teams.
I think so too, and people want to say how could you not keep them? They would have been hindsight's always 20/20. And if you're in the Thunder's position, you take that trade too 10 times out of 10. When Paul George was playing,
Paul George was playing out of his mind.
Best basketball of his life.
Yep.
I miss him a little bit. He's one of the smoothest players in the NBA, and I really miss seeing him play elite basketball because he's still good when he plays.
I was so hyped when he signed his extension with us. I was like, we got this dude.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was amazing that night. Because the rumor was he was going to LA, and he eventually did. But we got something for it,
Yeah, we got
and I appreciate Paul George for that. So thank you, Paul George.
Yeah, we're in a much better situation now.
Because of that. Because of Paul George. I love the picture, because the picture does it justice. Yep. You don't have to show it here. Paul George... First round pick, Shea, Gallinari, first round pick, pick swap. Like, that picture is amazing.
Yep.
And, and it's really like either that or he walks in free agency the year before and he doesn't, So, that was great.
It's kind of crazy now that, Shea is literally outperforming both of Kawhi and Paul George together.
And they're both great play. They just can't play. They just don't ever play the game. Like, I don't get what. I haven't watched enough of it to be like, when they do play, are they like do they just look like they can't play basketball? Are they so beat up that they can't, and then that's why they have to sit in the next game? Like, I don't get it, because if that's the case, Clippers need to make a change. And part of me wants that because we have their picks.
Yeah.
But you can't have these two superstars. Their team's good. Like, on paper.
Yeah, on paper before the season started, you had possibly 10 guys deep.
Yeah.
And
then kept making moves for people. And then all of a sudden you get to
I don't know.
the season, and Paul George they played like 40 games together in the past like 3 or 4 seasons, I think. Or I don't know. That stat's made up.
It was like 35%.
They really haven't played that much
together.
Like, it's sad, really.
It is sad.
They would be contenders every year if they could.
100%. That team would be nasty if those two would just good play. Injuries happen, sadly. But.
Sadly, and it ruins a lot of people's careers.
Yeah.
Hopefully not Chet Holmgren's. Yeah, and then so, got anything else for that?
No.
So, back to the other question. Isaiah Joe's ceiling. Are we thinking breaking the 3-point record? Are we thinking James Harden-esque? Or I'm trying to think of a better example than James Harden. Ray Allen-esque?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's been a while since I watched Ray Allen. I'm thinking really good at catch and shooting, which the Thunder desperately need. And then I'd like to see him add a little more passing, a little more driving.
My thing is like, this dude has taken threes from everywhere on the court.
And
like, it's not the same spot. It's like sometimes it's 2 feet behind the arc, right on the arc. And it's like it's almost automatic every time. That's what kills
he's
me.
the one guy that every time he shoots, I know I have like when he misses, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not like I hope that goes in. I'm like, wow, that missed.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fun to watch him because it's just that he's scoring. Like, he's going to hit that shot. It's so cool.
And the poster, that was nasty.
Oh, dude, when he dunked on whoever it was,
I can't remember.
It was this season. He had a nasty dunk, and it gave me life, and it makes me know. Like, I know he can go in, he can drive. Like, but I think he likes to shoot more. Like, he's like, I'm there to shoot. He knows his role.
Yeah.
I say his role. He knows what he does best, and that is shoot the three, and he's going to shoot the three.
Yeah.
So.
He's the one player I do want to see on the Thunder, like 4 or 5 years from now.
I hope we sign him to something long term. Because I don't know what his contract is right now, but when we signed him in the offseason, he lit us up in Summer League.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude. I was like, let's go. And then he starts playing. I'm like, oh my gosh, because he led that comeback against the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this guy's phenomenal. Like, this might be the best thing that's happened to the Thunder in a long time, except for Shea coming out like he did. He plays phenomenal. Like, and I'm like, how did this guy walk in the Sixers like Summer League? But the Sixers were competing. I'm sure they didn't want to develop him. And they said, oh, we've got James Harden. He's pretty good. We've got other guards. They're pretty good. We don't really have space for this guy. So thank you.
Thank you.
Philadelphia 76ers. That might be my next jersey. I'm thinking about him. I'm thinking about Josh Giddey. But Isaiah Joe might be my next jersey. Just because I only have one jersey. Actually, I have 2. They're both Poku. So I ordered one. It was kind of shady website. Didn't think it was going to show up. So I ordered another one that was legit. And they both showed up. And I just kept both of them because I wear this one out, and the other one I wear very rarely because it's kind of a monument in my house. I guess it just sits there glowing. So I miss Poku. A lot. Brought a lot to the team. A lot of people want to say that we're better that he got injured. I don't know if you've seen that take.
I have.
I disagree. I disagree because I think that even just him putting in a few minutes makes the team better. Maybe hit and other rotations with him sitting out, we do play good basketball. But
I think we're finally getting to a point where Poku is playing team basketball.
Yes.
And I think he's starting to figure that out. So, because a lot of times he was forcing a lot of stuff, driving in, throwing 360 behind the back passes,
which were cool.
Yeah.
By the way, for a 7-footer.
Yeah. But now it's like he is really turning the page to where
he's calm,
Yeah.
more calm.
He's playing with,
Playing here, he's more pure, and I think that just comes with time.
his
As
vision.
most things do. Yeah, vision's really good. His intangibles, I use that word to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Phenomenal. I just 7-foot guy who can do pretty much everything. He's so smooth for a 7-footer. But I really do think that, like, him being in the league longer, he just looked nervous.
Yeah.
Starting out. And just like he had to do something all the time. So now that he's like, hey, I kind of got a flow for it.
Yeah.
He just makes good plays.
Yep.
So whenever he comes back, we'll see.
We got 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, for the game start. So like I said, we're gonna do a reaction video as well. See how that goes. We really like reacting to Thunder basketball games. Most of the time, we watch them online and talk about it. And we do get pretty hyped, but yeah. So
Overhyped for sure.
overhyped, yeah, because every little thing. I mean,
Why
every
not?
time Lou Dort misses a shot, I think I've said trade Lou Dort 100 times in the past 3 games, and then every time he makes a shot, I say Lou Dort is my favorite Thunder player. Like I as a joke, of course, on both ends.
J Dub can make a simple screen, and I think he is the next big thing.
Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
it's like he said,
Such a good pick.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What 12? Yeah,
J Dub can do anything, and I will
he is.
kiss the ground he walks on.
He's
so.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of. I guess we can pretty much end it here. Do you have any final words, last thoughts?
Let's end it on our hottest take.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I brought that up. Okay,
Yeah.
so 2 hot takes. You go first because I want to think of mine because you said you had a hot take.
I got one hot take.
Go ahead.
I am so sorry for saying this, but
Oh no. See, but what are you about to regret saying?
I don't think Trey Man will be on this team next season.
Ooh, that is a hot take.
It hurts. It hurts a lot. It's more of a, I think Isaiah Joe's that guy.
Dude, you're right. That shocked me. That was a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we say hot takes. These are just takes I think we're going to give to try and get a ooh out of somebody.
And I love Trey Man. I thought he was, I still think he's the greatest thing ever. But like,
If it goes in a package, it goes in a package.
Yeah.
Man, I say that. I kind of shared my hot take earlier that Shea's not. I question if Shea's him. I really still do, and I don't question if he's a good basketball player. I just wonder if he's that basketball player that we need. Because when you look at the teams that win the finals, you've got the LeBron James, the Kawhi Leonards, the
Kevin
people
Durant's.
who can, the Kevin Durant's,
Yeah.
the people who at the last minute they're gonna play basketball and
Yeah.
play good basketball. And I think I'm not like Jimmy Butler, also a good basketball player. I think that's like what the Heat were missing when they were in the like stuff like that. And there's a lot of injuries too, but like, and Jimmy Butler played really good that final series. I'm not saying, but like when it comes down to it, you need one of the greatest to play. And Shea doesn't have to be that right now.
Yeah.
But to win a chip, which is the ultimate goal, I don't think he can be that. I question that.
I think the great thing about that take is that we're having that discussion when he's age 24.
That's the other thing. That is the other thing.
Like,
I sometimes forget he's still really, really young because he's the vet.
Yeah.
He's the vet.
He is the vet. And, they say, like, when you get 27, that's when you hit your prime. It's like, if Shea Gilgeous is already this good,
Yeah.
what's he going to be like 2-3 years, from now?
You're right. I still stick by it, but I do have hope in the future that he can prove me wrong and really like lead this team to something great.
I think he could be an absolute 1A if he improves his 3-point shooting.
1A. I like how you keep. I like that a lot. 1A. Just keep that. So, but yeah. I also just a fun fact. I think like 2/3 of the team can't drink alcohol.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
like it's that's how young we are.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, well I like that, the hot take. I like your hot take a lot more than mine. We'll definitely have to come up with some more hot takes for the next time. Hopefully the next time we do this.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
For sure.
Just sharing some thoughts, some opinions, good or bad.
For a first time, I don't think it was that bad.
I thought it was pretty good. So mainly what I would like from the 10 people that watch this video is to leave some comments. Let us know what you liked, what
we
you
need some
didn't like.
feedback. Yeah.
Give us some feedback and some hot takes of your own.
Yep.
Or just takes in general. Anything's appreciated unless it hurts our feelings.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't be mean, please. But yeah, so I think we're gonna try and do this. You know, if it goes well this time, keep it up. So yeah, reaction video coming.
Yes,
as
it's coming
well,
right now.
After we start this game.
Yep.
So beat the Kings.
Yep.
And
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thunder up.
Thunder up, baby.
And get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly pay back all I was lucky to get. Just by walking through the city, no, I'm a small part of this.
City of mine.